I am going through my own book, God's Kaleidoscope, by George Faulkner. This is my autobiography. And it's very interesting, having published it some time ago, to read the things that I wrote at the time. They're good reminders even to me. And there's one incident in this book. This actually took place in Fife. And it says here, on one occasion I discovered there was a meeting being led by a Church of Scotland minister in the next town, and what this man had to say would be very interesting, and indeed it was. I attended this meeting, and most of what he had to say was about how he had come to be a Christian. We should all have a story to tell about how we became Christians if we really are Christians. The thing that he heavily emphasised was that he had been appointed as an elder in the Church of Scotland for 10 years before he finally heard and understood the gospel and became a true believer. Imagine that. But I think that's a lot more common than we think. He had a deep concern for those, like himself, who had been deceived into thinking they were believers, who were right with God, because they did good things and were members of the church, but were in fact enemies of God because of their unbelief. That man had deceived himself, and I think many people do. They believe the facts of the gospel, but they've never brought it into their hearts. They've never had that encounter with God, where they've faced up to Him, faced their sin and submitted to God, and are able to tell people how that came about. This man was able to do that, yet he'd been an elder in the Church of Scotland for 10 years before that happened, and finally, of course, he'd become a minister. Interesting meeting. I only saw him once, and I've not named the town, but in this video I will. It took place in Cowdenbeath, and that man did the right thing. He submitted to God and told people about it and told a brutally honest story about it.